you're an entrepreneur and you have a credit card balance right now, this might be the moment everything changes for you. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're being taught something absolutely wrong. You think you're using the system, but the truth is the system has been using you. I want you to stay with me because today I'm turning the lights on. First and foremost, we got to set up something, make sure we're correct here. Let me say something that might sound a little bit different. Most people think that credit card debt is a discipline problem. They say, yeah, you just need a better budget. You just need more control. You just need to stop spending. But that's not the truth, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Because entrepreneurs are not broke thinkers. Entrepreneurs are action takers. You invest in tools, you invest in growth, you invest in opportunity. So the issue is not your ambition. The issue is the system. And that system is quietly hitting you in three areas: your credit, your business, and your life alignment. That's what I call the CBL Trap. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 hidden mechanisms built into credit cards. Not accidents, not mistakes, but design. And once you understand them, you can finally start playing this game the absolute right way. So let's get started. But before we do, I want you to do me a favor and subscribe to this great channel. Hit that like button right now so that more people get to see what we're sharing here on this growing YouTube channel. Be blessed with that because this is the place to level it up. This video is sponsored by BizCreditCentral.com. I talk a lot about wealth, but wealth requires a foundation. BizCreditCentral.com is that foundation. It's a free blog that teaches you the hidden B2B trends. But here's the kicker. If you have a business, you can advertise on their site. It takes 5 minutes to set it up. If you want to scale, you have to be seen. Go to the site, read the articles, and then click advertise to get your brand in front of thousands of entrepreneurs. BizCreditCentral.com. Now, let's get into it. Secret number 1, it's the minimum payment illusion. Let's start with this very easy one. And this one right here, this is the silent killer, the minimum payment. Now, on the surface, it feels helpful. You look at your statement and it says minimum due $125, and your mind says, well, I'm pretty good. I can handle that. But what you don't see is that that payment is actually doing something you don't understand. Let me break it down real simple. If you have a $5,000 balance at around 20% interest and you only make the minimum payments, it can take you over 20 years to pay that off. And you won't just pay back $5,000, you'll pay close to $9,000. That means you paid almost double for something you already bought. Let that sit with you just a moment. That's not a payment plan. That's a long-term drain on your financial life. And here's the deeper problem for entrepreneurs. That money isn't just money. That's business capital. That's marketing dollars. That's payroll. That's opportunity. And it's slowly leaking out every single month. I want you to see it like this. It's like a subscription you signed up for but forgot about. And every month it quietly bills you. Not loud, not urgent, just consistent. And consistency is what builds wealth or destroys it. So when you rely on minimum payments, you're not managing your credit. You're feeding a system that was built to keep you in that very same place. Secret number 2, the Rewards Ruse. Now let's talk about this one. This one traps the smartest people in the room. Rewards, cashback, points, miles. And let me be clear, this one feels good, gets your dopamine going, but it's like, you know what? You're not really winning. It just looks like you're winning. You swipe your card, you get points, you book a trip, you feel like you beat the system. But here's the truth nobody says out loud. If you're carrying a balance, you're not earning 2%, you're losing 20%. Let me say that again. You think you're gaining, but you're actually losing. because the interest you're paying is always going to be higher than the rewards you're earning. So while you're celebrating points, the system is collecting profit. And here's why entrepreneurs fall harder into this trap: because you spend more, you have higher expenses, ads, software, inventory, travel. So what happens? You earn more rewards, but you also carry bigger balances, which means you pay more interest. And now you feel like you're winning while you're losing. That's a dangerous place to be. Let me give you a simple picture. This is like a slot machine. You pull the lever and it goes and it goes. It gives you just enough small wins to keep you playing. But over time, the house always wins. And in this case, the house is the credit card company. So if you're not paying your balance in full or close to full, those rewards are not rewards. They are bait. Secret number 3, the business card deception. Now, this one right here, this is where a lot of entrepreneurs and others get blindsided because it sounds right. It feels right, but it's not fully true. Business credit cards. Most people believe if I use a business card, it stays separate from my personal credit. But in many cases, that's not how it works. A lot of major card issuers still report your activity to your personal credit profile, which means every time you swipe, you are increasing your utilization. And utilization is one of the biggest factors in your credit score. 30% on the FICO system and up to 33% on the Vantage 4.0. So now you think about this. You're using your business card to grow your business, but at the same time, you might be lowering your personal credit score. And that score is what determines your ability to get funding. So now you're in a loop. You use credit to grow, but it weakens your profile, which limits your future access, and nobody told you that. That's the part that matters, because once you know, you can move different. But until you know, you think you're building when you might be blocking. This is why awareness is power, because the wrong move made consistently creates the wrong outcome. Secret number 4, the hidden fee system. Now let's go deeper, because this last one, it doesn't just affect your credit, it affects your peace. It affects your life. Hidden fees. Now, most people think a late fee is just a penalty. You missed a payment, you pay a fee. Simple, but it's not simple, because it starts a chain reaction. You miss one payment, now your rate jumps. That's called a penalty APR. Your interest rate increases. Then your grace period can disappear, which means even new purchases start collecting interest immediately. So now you're not just behind, you're in a system that accelerates the problem. And here's something most people don't know. There was a big legal push to reduce late fees, and the industry fought hard to keep them high. Why would you say? Because late fees generate billions every year, and internally, they call it a behavioral revenue. Let me say that again. They call it behavioral revenue. Let me translate that. They profit from your stress, from your mistakes, from your moments of pressure. That's not accidental. That's design. This is where I want you to pause, because yes, the tactics are real, but there's something even deeper, something more important, and this is where everything shifts. It's the identity shift. This is your turning point. I want you to think about this. What if the real issue is not the credit card? What if the real issue is the identity you're operating from? I call this your identity thermostat. You see, it's the level you naturally return to. So if your identity is a person who is going to manage debt, there's no matter what strategy you learn, it doesn't make any difference. You see, you'll keep finding yourself in debt. But if your identity becomes, I build wealth, now your decisions change, your habits change, your standards change, and your results change. Follow that shift. This is my believe, feel, act pattern. You believe something different, you feel something different, and then you act different. And those actions create a brand new outcome. So the system is absolutely real, but your identity determines how you move inside it. So now let me show you exactly how to flip this, because I'm about to give you a 4-step counter playbook that puts you back in control. These 4 moves will change the game for you. Move number 1, destroy the minimum payment mentality. Here's your new rule. If you cannot pay it off in 30 days, don't put it on the card. Simple. This forces discipline. But more importantly, it protects your future cash flow because you're no longer borrowing from tomorrow to survive today. Move number 2, run a rewards reality check. Go pull your last 3 statements, add up the interest you paid, then add up the rewards you earned. Now compare the two. I want you to be honest. If your interest is higher, you are not winning. You are funding the system. And once you see that clearly, you stop chasing points and start protecting profit. Move number 3, know your card before you swipe. Before you use any business card, call the company. Ask one simple question. Do you report to personal credit? If they say yes, now you know how to treat that card. Not casually, but strategically, because that card is connected to your future funding. And move number 4, read the contract like a CEO. Most people never read their agreement, but you're not most people. You're building something. So find 3 things. Know your penalty APR, know your grace period, and know your fee structure, because those 3 areas control the entire game. And once you understand them, you stop creating and you start leading. This is the key. So this is something that I want you to get. Let me leave you with this. Hard work alone does not build wealth. Awareness does, alignment does, and disciplined action does every time. You now understand the 4 ways the system was built, but more importantly, you understand how to move inside of it. And that's where power lives. So now the question becomes, who are you going to be? The person who manages debt or the person who builds wealth? Because once you decide that everything changes, if this opens your eyes, I want you to get something. I want you to do something. Share this with another entrepreneur who really needs it. Hit that like button. Subscribe to this great growing channel. And in the comments, tell me this. Which one of these hit you the hardest? Because I'm reading every single one. And I'll see you in my next video. Be blessed.